ready to rumble.
We welcome you inside the field house here at Clinton Prairie High School for Hoosier Heartland Conference volleyball action. The Taylor Titans looking to get their first win of the season. They are 0-10 against the Clinton Prairie Gophers, who check in at 8-6. My name is Greg Rakestraw. I'm thrilled to be joined by the 8-time state champion winning coach at Cathedral High School, Gene Kesterson, in our ISC Sports Network studios on this Thursday night. Gene, I know that's not the first time you have seen the Gophers so far this year. Had a 5-setter against Faith Christian the last time you were here. A coaching change has been made since that time at Clinton Prairie. So you've got an experienced team, but new pieces, so to speak. What do you expect to see from this group tonight?
Well, I think, looking at what their previous games, the ones they've had recently, they still have the big stars. You know, they have Sydney Swan, who is legit, I think, in my opinion, D1, but she's also a basketball player. I understand she's pretty good with that. Abby Swan, setter, hitter. I mean, they have pieces. They can go pretty far in the state tournament.
By the way, of note, you mentioned the Swan family. Mom Stacy has stepped in as the interim head coach. Stacy works with the Junior Boilermaker volleyball program in the Lafayette area. She played collegially at St. Ambrose, so this is a rare luxury. A school that makes a coaching change in midseason can bring some of the great experience in to help coach up this team. On the flip side, it's been a season of struggle for Taylor. They are 0-10. What do you expect to see from them? And obviously, maybe you're not measuring success with wins and losses at this point. What's the progress you want to see from this team tonight? The
progress is to stay in system, to have like 3 contacts: pass, set, and attack. You know, make sure your formations are correct. Make sure correct serve receive. Make sure your defense is aligned. So just the basic fundamentals that you're getting better at as the season continues.
So it is Clinton Prairie that will be on the right side of your screening, and these two now conference foes clearly share large swatches of the color palette together, being red, black, and white as their uniforms. But thankfully, their JV uniforms, we didn't broadcast the JV match, but it was an all-black affair in terms of attire. Thankfully, they have a bit more contrast. The red tops, that's Taylor on the left-hand side of your screen. The primarily white tops, that is Clinton Prairie on the home side of your screen. Of course, rally scoring, we played a 25-by-2, best of 5 sets. If we get to a 5th set, that'll be 15-by-2. Taylor has struggled to win sets this year. Clinton Prairie checks in as the heavy favorite tonight. As far as some of the front row hitters are concerned for Prairie, Evie Brooks, Caitlin Beck amongst that group for Prairie. Haven Wilson is the libero. Sydney Swan starts in a back row rotation for Clinton Prairie. And the Gophers will be serving first. And heading back to serve for Prairie is Abby Swan. So the Swan sisters both start in the back row with Stacy as the head coach.
If I recall, she has a pretty good serve. And
I would say the result of that first serve would concur with that. And
yes.
Was there a touch there? Yes. Point goes to Clinton Prairie.
As I said last time I had opportunity to do this game, it's tool time. Clinton Prairie was really good at tooling the block. But to have your setter, I remember key points of the game, she was serving aggressively. The first serve you want over and in.
Is that an ace?
And it looks by their body language it is, yes. Yep. That was a great placement. Deep one, that's going to score most of the time.
Notice in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, Coach and I were commenting on the marvel of the Clinton Prairie story. This is a past state champion in the single class days under the tutelage of Connie Garrett. Big swing off the block, and this will be a problem. And first 3 points now belong to the Gophers.
The Titans are having a little issue with the first ball contact. You have to be able to receive the first ball and make it at least where you can get 2 attacks or even 1 attack out of it.
So 3-zip in favor of the home squad. 3 ball on 3. On the set. And Abby Swan, the setter in that rotation. Miscue by Taylor, and make it 4 in a row for the Gophers.
Just some miscommunication on Taylor's squad. But if you can see, the Gophers are an in-system. They're having attacks. They're having the second ball contact that's good enough to swing at the ball.
Big swing. That thing fell off the table. Good late movement on the service by Abby Swan. This is a senior-dominated team for Prairie, but you'll see sophomores and juniors get key moments, and Abby Swan, a sophomore, to serve.
Well, you want that. You want tradition. You want them to be in this position where they, going to be serving and hopefully get the game going in the right direction. The start of the match in volleyball is critical.
Well, this is the start that Clinton Prairie had hoped for and to some degree expected. First 6 points belong to the home team. And another ace.
Okay, so it looks like the the coaches are just calling different zones, and Abby's just trying to hit the zones. That was like a 4 zone. It's a little bit deep, 4-4. So it's 1 deep corner. Actually, that was 4.
Jelena Harris was the player closest to it for Taylor. And again, just serving. You say this in volleyball, you say this in tennis, say this in baseball or even softball. You're trying to change the speed. You're trying to change the location on a regular basis. After the floater that was more to the front, this one goes to the back.
Deep.
Result the same.
Okay, looks like she's back a little bit farther. See what she's doing. Jump serve. Okay. Jump float.
Going over on 2 is Taylor. Swan the set.
That's the first attack.
Libero will set in the back row. Big swing from the back that is into the net first. Hitting error committed by Prairie, and first point of the match goes to Taylor.
Okay, so Taylor kind of earned it a little bit. They had their first pass set hit and got the point out of it.
So back to serve is Taylor. This is Alexandra Collins. She's a 5'8" senior. Swan has to pick that one out of the net and made contact. So back-to-back points for Taylor.
Call it a setting error. I think they're called net or a double. They might have called that a double.
So 8-2. Great diving effort to keep that ball alive by Prairie. Taylor likely played an out ball that time. Prairie will take the bonus point, 9-2 Gophers.
Absolutely. There's been miscommunication between the Taylor players. You have 2 people going for ball. One needs to be called mine, mine, mine. Or they should have already assigned, this is your ball, this is your area of the court.
Long serve, Libero. Gets the first touch for Taylor. With a free ball here for Prairie. Big swing middle and big bounce off the tape for the home side, 10-2 Prairie. It looks like our first time out of the match will go to Taylor. I'm not sure Prairie needed the benefit of that one, but they got it with the home bounce.
Absolutely, but they just got to get, they only had 1 kill. So again, stay in rhythm to pass the set, or at least make it so there's 2 contacts per side. Okay, giving them a free ball to a team like Clinton Prairie is not going to be in your favor.
Thank our friends at Healthy Communities of Clinton County. The Healthy Communities of Clinton County Coalition, formed in 2006, is a partnership of healthcare providers, service care providers, educators, and community leaders who are interested in addressing issues of health in the Clinton County community. Now, over 15 years later, the coalition is still committed to making permanent changes by encouraging policy, systems, and environmental changes with the desire to always make the healthy choice the easy choice. For more information, visit healthyclintoncounty.org. And alongside Gene Kesterson, Greg Rakestraw with you here on the ISC Sports Network. It's remarkable to think that a couple of weeks from now will be the pairing show for volleyball. We've hit the midway moment of the season.
It's crazy. It goes by so fast. Coaching, it lasts forever. But when you're out of it, you're not coaching anymore. It's like, oh my gosh, okay.
Taylor goes over on 2. Middle set, and a good job to read where the blockers were or were not. Ball just kind of knuckled over that time by Sydney Swan. Point to Prairie.
So they had a combination play out of the middle. They've only had 1 blocker in the middle. Combination play, tip where they're not, score the point. I like their timeout. Clinton Prairie coaches were there, and they're really animated with stuff, and everyone was looking at the coaches. So that was very, very positive.
Well, the net is certainly doing its part to help the home team.
Well, you know, it is home court advantage. Great. Holy schmoly, it was again.
The members' bounce belongs to the home team, 12-2. And that one goes a little bit long. Another free point.
But at least it was a pass set, and they swung over the net. So that's positive. If I'm Coach Hall for the Titans, that is a positive.
This one to the back row. And Libero with the reception. free ball, but Taylor was already in defense mode that time instead of trying to go and get it.
A little too tight to the net, and that's so hard. When the ball's coming tight to the net like that, and you're close, you struggle with it.
So 14-2. Set across. Big lefty swing. Just couldn't keep it into court, but that's the most aggressive swing we've seen from the Titans so far.
I love Coach Swan. She was up and clapping for the other team like that was good. So this is high school sports at its best.
Education-based athletics is what you hear from our friends at 91st and Meridian. Had the chance to spend several hours today with the commissioner of the IHSAA and Paul Neidig. You see the replay here of this one. This one took a kind of a direct path through two different Taylor players.
Again, just miscommunication. That should have been the libero or libero, depends if you're from Indiana, taking that first contact.
So I used to pull all my volleyball terminology and lingo from Lingenfelter and Leswing, and I get to do the same with you. This is wonderful. Point for Prairie, now 17-2.
You know why it's called libero?
Educate me, please.
Men's volleyball in Italy. And in Italy, libero means free range or free. So they can freely go in and out of the court. And that's to get men's volleyball because it's so quick to keep the rallies longer so the spectators say, and they can sell more ads.
Concessions, that too.
Concessions and ads too.
Errant serve. So the free point to Taylor. Back to serve for Taylor. This is Miranda Saldana on the serve. Swan the set. And again, just open over the solo and single block. We've seen Taylor have back-to-back points once so far in this set, but clearly all Prairie in this conference matchup.
We call that campfire. Or defensively, if you're playing defense, like rotation defense, or sorry, some defense, deep defense, that middle hole is completely open.
Swan the swing. Skied by Collins for Taylor. Point continues. Not the best of passes or attacks, and the miscue gives Taylor the point.
Looks like the hand was a little late, the extension on the arm, and she just kind of mistimed it. But it was a hittable, in my opinion, as a coach, a hittable ball. But learn, it's okay, it's early in the season still.
Serve coming up here for Riley Morris. Good looking swing. Diagonal ball, but doesn't find the court. That was Avery Brooks that took a swing at it for Prairie. Obviously, plenty of points worth of cushion here for the Gophers. It's now 18-5 in their favor.
That's okay. Let's see if the Titans can get a few points in a row. I mean, their serving is good.
And that one thrown down. Sydney Swan kept it on the fingers just long enough, 19-5.
She's really good at dodgeball. That's what we would call it. And we would practice this, seriously. That spot, hit it to him a little bit quicker, hit back to your left. It is a great shot. It's a smart shot. And last time I watched, Sydney Swan, her volleyball IQ is like incredible.
Missed. Flirted with the ace on the far sideline, but service error. That's the second one of those so far today by Prairie. Gives the point to Taylor. Collins to serve. Already a little bit more of depth and rotation, getting some playing time in the first set for Prairie. That one just a bit long. R1 agrees with the linesman in the corner, and my glance, I thought it was a little bit long as well. Point to the home team.
Nice deep shot. Okay, I thought it was in, but that's okay. We don't have replays.
We do.
We don't have challenges.
They don't
have challenges.
Correct.
That's correct.
And frankly, it was closer on the replay than I thought it was as it happened. No doubt about that one. That's an ace for Prairie. Their lead extends back to 15.
So, again, serve between seams. Serves, we call that husband-wife, where you just serve between the two and they both look at each other. You should have gotten that. You're trying to pick up the kids from school.
Set across. Good job to swing around the pass that time by Prairie. Bump set here. Largely free play, and That time Underwood and Saldana nearly collided in trying to track it down for Taylor. Give that one to Brooks.
Again, husband-wife on the hitting, too.
And another timeout has been called. You get 2 timeouts per set. Taylor going to go ahead and use their second timeout here. So 22-6 in favor of Prairie. Tonight's match presented in part by Ardente Dental. They're a team of professional smile makers dedicated to leading the community to optimal health. Straighten your smile and improve your confidence today by contacting Ardente Dental at 765-654-7222 or visit ardentedental.com. Again, spelled like you see it on your screen. What are you notating from the huddle here, Coach?
They're all eyes on the coach. I mean, I've coached teams before, and they have hands down or they're wiping this or going to get water, but they're all focused, and their eyes are focusing on what the coach is saying, and she's very animated. So, I mean, she's bringing the energy to the court.
Look at the ace from Sydney Swan just a couple of moments ago, like so many players on this Prairie squad. Multiple sport athlete here at Clinton Prairie High School. So many of these young ladies, whenever the volleyball season is over, will start to get ready for another successful basketball season as they have won back-to-back girls basketball sectionals here at Prairie.
I've said it before, but I'm going to say it again. On national calls, leadership calls for the EVCA, college coaches want multi-sport athletes. If you just play volleyball, the kids are beat up. Mary Wise of Florida said her incoming freshmen have more injuries, overuse injuries, than their seniors that are leaving. So multi-sport athletes, your stock is rising.
Good on the set. Good angled swing that time. Good, we'll try it again. This time the errant swing as Abby Swan spent some time as a setter. Getting a little bit of a look here as a hitter. Again, you've got plenty of points to work with if you're the Gophers.
I mean, she made a good effort to get off the net, just dropped her left shoulder a little bit.
Could be a tough serve on the floater. Short set. Good pickup here by Taylor. Swan into the block and couldn't peel it off the net that time. Off the hands of Jelena Harris. And Prairie 2 points away from claiming set number 1.
Her arm swing's a little bit quicker this time. I mean, it's there, didn't drop her shoulders much, and just swung quick.
Avery Brooks, one of the many seniors in this Prairie rotation. And this one just a little bit long. And I won't take the time to count them. 16 set points here for Prairie.
Very good. Very good.
That's high-level math where I'm from.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. Another service error by Prairie. But still more than a handful of set points. Katie Hogan, 5'6" senior, to serve here for Taylor. Good. Diagonal shot that could not be dug by the Titans, and that is the end of set number 1. Well, it was controlled by Prairie. That was not a surprise. They scored the first 7 points of the set. Never seriously challenged after that. 25-9 after set number 1. Set number 2 comes your way next as you're watching Clinton Prairie High School Volleyball here on the ISC Sports Network. The ISC Sports Network is your home for sports content across the Hoosier State. Find us live on TV and streaming or archived on our website and our app. The ISC is your one-stop shop for the content you want to see, including high school sports, college sports, and other great events throughout the year. Subscribe to our streaming service and get access to it all. ISC, local lives here.
Welcome back to high school sports.
Fans, I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back.
This is game time. This is Indiana high school sports. This is your IHSAA.
Ball here. Harris scores. With 19 seconds.
Big players, big boy. I'm telling you right now, that's awesome. I love it.
You get a layup taken and an and one.
Finding affordable, quality reproductive health care isn't always easy. Did you know that there is now a family planning and reproductive health clinic in our area that is income-based? Services include Pap tests, breast cancer screenings, pregnancy tests, sexually transmitted infection and HIV testing, same-day birth control placement, filled prescriptions, and free condoms. Services are on an income-based sliding scale. Visit 1234 Rossville Avenue or call 659-6063 for more information or to schedule an appointment.
I want to thank Sean Walker, as well as Elijah Mash, our production crew for tonight's contest. And alongside Gene Kesterson, Greg Rakestraw with you here on the ISC Sports Network. All right, what is your coaching points from set number one? Let's start with Clinton Prairie. Obviously, you weren't exactly challenged in set number one. If you're Coach Swan, what do you see from your team in set number two?
Try to reduce your errors, like control your serve, the service line. I would also they ran a play set, one play set. Let's see if we can go with more play sets. Practice, put in play what you practice. And obviously they practice that play set, that combination play in the middle. Maybe do a little bit more of that.
If you're Taylor, again, like we said, you're 0-10. You've not won a set this year. Clearly, you're struggling a little bit right now. What's the progress you want to see from set one to set two?
Don't do the scoreboard. We would have kids, when I coach little kids, we would have someone keep track, how many pass set hits do we have? Our goal was 10 per set. And sometimes we had 2, but that's okay. They had 2.
Set number one is clearly off to a better start. First lead of the match for Taylor.
Good, very good.
That was Hogan on the serve.
The lefty, yes, with the short serve. Husband-wife short husband-wife team.
Second verse, same as the first, with an ace.
She served short the entire match. I'm sure the coaching staff, they'll probably have their players come back or take it with their hands.
A little more depth on that one, a little too much depth on that one, obviously.
She got excited. She had 2 service aces.
Got amped up a little bit.
Yeah, and they were good. Those are hard balls to play.
Abby Swan, as she began the previous set for Prairie, will have the first service rotation. She rattled off 7 consecutive points to start set number one. Hogan, the swing is a little bit much that time. That was Harris that couldn't keep it in the court of play.
But it was a pass set hit.
You're running an offense there if you're Taylor.
So really, they're ahead 3-2, kind of, sort of.
Diagonal ball, that's an ace. Well done.
That was a great shot.
Saldana, the diving effort, trying to make a play for Taylor. And again, we are seeing good variance from Prairie on how they serve the ball, not just hitting the same ball, same spot every time. Perhaps an out ball played by Swan, but didn't want to take the chance. Block is there for Taylor. Hogan will set across, and the rally continues. Off the block and down, and give the point to Prairie.
That was a nice play. I mean, that was a good system. I'm watching both sides. Both teams are in good defensive and offensive position. Okay, a little bit behind the block, but just some adjustments.
Another big serve, and Taylor couldn't control it.
Again, great serve, good speed, good distance on it.
That was Underwood that couldn't control it off the serve. So it's 4 consecutive points off the serve for Prairie. Trying to extend that here. Swan sets across. Another good-looking swing, 50-50 ball, and the free point capitalized upon by Clinton Prairie.
Nice overpass. Again, nice swing, deep shots. Those are tough to play. In position, tip found a spot. Overpass kill.
Good stay alive effort there by Taylor. Short set. Longest rally of the match continues. Swan, well done. Fantastic read.
Yes, volleyball IQ. I mean, last time she was hitting line shots, I didn't think we're open. Look, she's just like, okay, rotate her shoulders. It's open.
Coach's kid.
Smart player.
Yeah.
Smart mom, smart player.
Another outstanding serve. And frankly, that is a serve that we probably don't see enough in this sport. Kind of, it would be the equivalent of in tennis of the serve out wide to a forehand from a right-hander. It's kind of like almost like you're hitting a curveball and it's taking the player out of the court.
It takes your position, your body position, away from where the target is. So you speak as a tennis person?
A few pounds ago I was, absolutely. Good-looking swing there for Prairie. 9-2. Prairie has now rattled off 9 consecutive points. 8 consecutive service points picked up for the sophomore Abby Swan.
But the Titans are playing better. I mean, I have 2 pass set hits right now, and they're staying in play. Their movement is quicker than before.
A little bit much on that.
Doesn't matter. Pass set hit.
It looks like we'll have our next timeout.
Okay, I'm going to say something. The coach is still coaching. Called timeout. I've seen it before. When the coach gets down by this much, they're not calling anything.
You're thinking about getting on the bus at that point, which is
yes,
not how you want to handle this.
And I've watched that, and it's like, no, the coach cares about the kids.
Well, tonight's game, a presentation of Mulberry Telecommunications, currently offering service in Mulberry, Dayton, rural Lafayette, rural Frankfort, and other communities in both Clinton and Tippecanoe County. Fiber internet packages start at just $49.99 per month. For more information, visit mintel.net. Mulberry Telecommunications, it's the best gig in town. Coach Stacy Swan talking with her team.
And she's using the entire time out and talking, and you can see the body language is positive. You see the yes as opposed to getting in pointing fingers and stuff. So I'm seeing nothing but positive right now.
Prairie coming in at 3-0 in conference play. After tonight, they'll have 3 more that count on the conference ledger. Prairie has the weekend off. We'll have their next match coming up on Tuesday. Always a rivalry, even if sometimes it can be one-sided. Central Catholic is the opponent that comes to town. Coach McCarter's squad on Tuesday night. He, much like my partner, a multiple-time state championship coach.
And I remember playing boys volleyball, and he was a great player then. But what he's done for Central Catholic is remarkable. So remarkable, they had to move up to 2A.
4th hit. So another point for Clinton Prairie. Yeah, for so many Prairie teams, Central Catholic has been the stopping point in the postseason for many, many years. A lot of these young ladies that are playing now as sophomores, part of the basketball team that beat Central Catholic in a sectional game over at Fountain Central a couple of years ago.
Your memory is incredible.
Say it convincingly, people will believe you. It's amazing how that works.
His memory is incredible.
Well, I was on the call of that one here from the studio as well. 12-2 the score. Big swing.
Yes.
Good block that time. The barrel makes the play. That is Haven Wilson for Prairie. Wilson again with the bump set. Macro swing by Swan, and again, reads it like a book.
She impresses me, and I've watched a lot of big-time volleyball. She's just going up, aggressive, finds a shot, finishes with a good arm swing. Very impressed.
I think the question for Sydney literally is, okay, what sport do you want to play next year when you get to the college level?
Well, I'm going to promote volleyball because she's good and she can play. So I'm going to promote that because a college coach would be proud to have her. I mean, happy to have her and proud with the results.
Of course, we are fortunate to have great volleyball at all levels of the sport here in this state. And finally, Swan, her service run ends at 13 consecutive points.
Incredible.
14-3 in favor of Prairie.
And just not the same serve, just different speeds, different locations.
And unfortunately, a run of none for Collins as far as the serve is concerned. Talking about the great levels of volleyball, let's put it this way. Think of the job that that Dave Shondell has done to build Purdue's program.
Yes.
Raven Colvin, others around her, fantastic players at Purdue as the Big Ten has become the premier volleyball conference
Absolutely.
in the country.
Absolutely.
But then you've got Marion at the small college level that's won a national championship, and they're currently top 5 in the country as well. So major college, small college from A to Z. Volleyball has played well in this state. Another point goes to Prairie.
How about Olympic gold medalist Annie Drews, first female from the Hoosier State to be an Olympian, and they won gold with her on. They're just waiting for Annie Drews.
Katie Marcinko had the kill for Clinton Prairie. Another free point off the serve for the Gophers. And the lead continues to expand quickly for the home team. Tough ball to pass, but Taylor keeps the point alive, and that will be a point to Prairie, just steered wide. Well, we referenced the fact that Clinton Prairie is 3-0 in league play. They trail only rival Rossville. There's kind of a quirk in the schedule. Rossville already has beaten every other league team other than Prairie. Those two teams play in 2 weeks at Rossville on September the 29th with the league championship potentially on the line.
I noticed their schedule that Clinton Prairie, they host Lafayette Central Catholic, and then they're away 4 matches, which is not a good way to end the season. But, you know, you get used to, you don't hosting sectionals, so you get used to playing away.
Let's thank our friends at Defining Looks Wig, Hair, and Nail Salon. At Defining Looks, we know that shopping for a wig can be intimidating. We strive to make your experience fabulous and ensure you receive the best quality service available. For more information, visit defininglooks.com. Defining Looks, be your own kind of beautiful. Well, the score has been beautiful for Prairie in this one. They won the first set 25-9. They lead this one 19-3. Again, timeouts have been taken already in this set by Taylor. I'm looking for the finishing kick here if you're Clinton Prairie.
And I like how the coach looks around her huddle. You know, instead of focusing on one or just the starters, she's looking around, and everyone, I think, in my opinion, feels like they're valued. Because the third set, we might see some kids that haven't had a lot of playing time.
And that ball into the net.
That's one way to extend your time on the court.
That's right.
We did have kids that did that. I go, why'd you miss your serve? I wanted to play more,
I got to play more, coach.
Seriously, it's like, what are you thinking, woman?
Miranda Saldana back to serve, the libero. Swan the set. And that one just a bit long.
Let's see on the replay. And it's a nice deep. Whoa, okay.
Close.
Yes. No challenge in high school, thank goodness.
Big swing for Swan, and couldn't control it off the block, could Taylor.
You get a block like that, you have your hands in position a little earlier. Otherwise, you're going to bounce the ball back towards your bench.
Here's Haven Wilson back to serve. That one rolled up the arm of Saldana, and little her teammate can do to try to remedy that.
Okay, the service deep has scored almost all the time, so we'll see. She might be able to, they might try to serve short, but I doubt it with 21-5.
Another service miscue, and Saldana runs out of real estate to track it down. Prairie 3 points away from taking set number 2 in equally as dominant fashion as set number 1.
Again, the first contact for Taylor needs to be better. Okay.
And Taylor goes over on 2. Swan angles that one over. Marcinko off the block and down. Katie Marcinko, the junior, makes the play.
And what time is it, Greg?
About winning time.
It's tool time. That's something the bench, especially with the boys volleyball. What time is it? Tool time. And then we said the benches can't do that anymore, so the fans do.
Swan, and that hits the line. Point goes to Prairie.
Nice deep shot. Again, her volleyball IQ. So if you're a college coach, you need to be looking at this Sydney Swan kid. Remarkable athlete, great volleyball IQ.
Swan again. Good looking swing. Free ball for Prairie. Marcinko with the left hand and wins it for the Gophers. First set went 25-9. Second set in even more definitive fashion, 25-5. Set number 3 comes your way next as you're watching Clinton Prairie High School Volleyball here on the ISC Sports Network. The ISC Sports Network is your home for sports content across the Hoosier State. Find us live on TV and streaming or archived on our website and our app. The ISC is your one-stop shop for the content you want to see, including high school sports, college sports, and other great events throughout the year. Subscribe to our streaming service and get access to it all. ISC, local lives here.
High school sports fans, welcome back to Game Time, to pure spirits, to pure sport. Welcome back to high school sports.
Fans, I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back.
This is Game Time. This is Indiana high school sports. This is your IHSAA.
Ball here. Harris scores. With 19 seconds.
Fake players, big boy. I'm telling you right now, that's awesome. I love it. That's the finish.
You get a layup taken and an and one.
Finding affordable, quality reproductive health care isn't always easy. Did you know that there is now a family planning and reproductive health clinic in our area that is income-based? Services include Pap tests, breast cancer screenings, pregnancy tests, sexually transmitted infection and HIV testing, same-day birth control placement, filled prescriptions, and free condoms. Services are on an income-based sliding scale. Visit 1234 Rossville Avenue or call 659-6063 for more information or to schedule an appointment.
Hi, I'm Query.
And I'm Schultz.
And of course, we do the incredibly creatively and appropriately named Query and Schultz program every Monday on ISC Sports Network. Derek, it airs at what time?
7:30.
Okay, every Monday at 7:30. We're now on season number 2, and if history tells us anything, catch us now because you never know when they pull the plug on it.
Why would you say that?
Because it's happened
That's not going
before.
to happen here. Comcast, Xfinity 81, ISCSportsNetwork.com, ISC Sports Network, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, so many places to watch Query and Schultz, 7:30 on Monday.
Third set about to get underway here at the Field House at Clinton Prairie High School. And alongside Gene Kesterson, Greg Rakestraw with you. Sets 1 and 2, as expected, dominated by the Gophers, 25-9 and 25-5. It has been a struggle this year for Taylor. Had to pick up a set win in their 10 matches, 0-10 their record on the season. And again, despite the score, I know, Coach, you saw things you saw from Taylor you liked better in set 2 than in set 1.
Their movement was much better, which is so important in volleyball. Before they were just kind of standing like statues. Then they started moving and moving with the ball, but they had 4 pass set hits near the beginning of the game, and then and then they kind of went back into the routine of statues, which is what we call them in our gym. Statues, we didn't move.
If you're Prairie, again, seemingly the outcome of this one is not in doubt. What do you want to see from your team in set number 3, and how many players do you work in off the bench if you're Coach Swan?
If it were me, I play the bench. They need to see what it's like. You know, you're a couple injuries away from being maybe average, so they need playing time, and they need, I think, in a play where they feel they can get confidence, they can see success. They're not going to get hit in the face with someone that's attacking the ball on the other side. So something like that. So I would do that.
So Kaylee Wall is back to serve. Kaylee, one of the 7 seniors on the roster. Nice set, big swing. That's Caitlin Beck, yet another senior. Also another basketball player on this volleyball group for Prairie. And for the second time in 3 sets, they claim the first point of the set.
And that's a beautiful pass set. Everything was in rhythm, right to target, and the energy afterwards, that was good.
I'm not sure there's a better feeling as a coach than when players off of your bench that don't often get time go out and do things well on the court.
I love that. That's, I think, the best part, because the kids are supposed to be good. They better be good. But the kids who haven't had the chance yet, I get so excited. That's what I remember most, actually.
3 for 3. Wall, one of a couple of midseason additions for this team.
And I thought she did some setting last set as well, if I recall. So she's already got her feet wet. Sorry, that's not swimming, but.
Doing a quick check of the bench. Looks like 14 players in uniform for the varsity, and I would imagine, I would say 10 or 11 have already played in this match, and you would think all 14 will get some run here in this set.
I hope so. And I hope so for Taylor, because it has a chance that maybe they're playing, maybe they don't have players that are experienced, and what Clinton Prairie has out may not be experienced. By the way, this year we can dress 16 for a sectional roster. We got that approved.
Big lefty swing, but too big of a lefty swing. And in set number 1, the first 7 points with the way of Prairie. After giving up the first 2 points last set, the next 13 went the way of Prairie. So far, it's the first 5 here. And that will be steered wide and make it 6.
But the play before, it was a pass set and it was a healthy swing. The follow through wasn't good, but that was positive. So I can find a positive with that play. The one before.
See Chad Peckinpah over by the scorers table. He is the boys basketball coach and the athletic director at Clinton Prairie High School. As always, thanks to Chad for his assistance with our broadcast crew tonight. Good recovery by the teammate for Prairie. Wilson with the dig. Set across, and good-looking swing for the younger of the Swans. That's Abby.
That was a nice swing
for Prairie.
And good. Watch the transition. Great transition. Up. Drops her left shoulder a little bit, hit around the block. Again, that was a good in-system play.
The smaller of the school you play at, the more of all 6 positions in every rotation you have a chance to play. But looking forward for Abby as a sophomore, as she becomes more of a leader the next 2 years, what do you think her best position is going to be for the Gophers?
I think the best athlete, in my opinion, needs to be the setter. Because if your passing's not good, they need to be able to track balls. If your ball control is good, you might have a hitter. Because a setter, they could throw it up and you can go swing, but you got to be able to track down that second contact.
Good looking point for Taylor. This is one of the few points where, frankly, they have won it instead of the other way around. That's Harris with the winning hit.
They're getting it.
Here's Saldana. Block is there. Wilson will sky it. And that falls for a point for Prairie. And again, during your high school coaching days, there frankly weren't many years like this for you where you were thinking, okay, how do I keep this team motivated in the middle of the year? If you're the coaching staff at Taylor, what are you doing trying to keep this fun for your team?
I would have, first of all, practices where there's goals to be met, and there's goals to be met. Honestly, some years I had little bits of candy, Halloween, a little, seriously. But I would not do scoreboard. I would go, okay, so let's go past that hit. They had a block that actually was returned, and it was a good block. I mean, the position hands over. So I would have, like, little goals throughout the game. Goal setting for a team that is struggling is critical for them to enjoy the game and see success.
This point goes to Taylor. That swing was into the net by Prairie.
Approach was a little slow, a little bit quicker arm swing, would have had it.
Here's Riley Morris. Good looking swing by Morris. That's an ace.
Oh, look at the energy. They got to do that cheer. a little bit. So there's some success.
Good job for Riley. She is a junior.
Greg, we used to practice short serves all the time, and the kids couldn't hit them. They're finding that campfire and a deep one. Okay.
Unfortunately, those aces seemingly have been followed by service errors immediately afterwards.
I think they're just excited.
Understood.
But the arm swing was a little bit different, a little bit too strong.
Back rotates out for Prairie. Wilson, tough serve. Saldana with the bump set, and a game of you got it that time by the Taylor kids.
That's what it's called. You got it?
That's what I call it.
Okay.
Doesn't mean it's catching on in any way,
No,
shape,
probably
or
won't
form.
in the volleyball community. Just communication. Volleyball, you should be able to hear the elite teams play. Like that, you heard that. That should happen every time there's a contact on your side of the net.
Service miscue committed by Prairie. Jaden Underwood now to serve it up for Taylor. Good looking swing there by Prairie, and nothing that the Titans can do about that.
Absolutely right. That was a nice, healthy swing. Look, set, ball location's very good. Just a platform change for the Bro and for the Titans would make a difference. Her feet were close enough. It was just the platform was facing the wrong direction.
So Grace Good now will serve. Kaylee Wall rotates out of the lineup. Set across. Nice swing. Point goes to Prairie.
Again, in control. Nice look pass. Setter hardly has to move from her target area and just saw the block and hit to that seam. It was great.
If I'm going by the numbers off the JV roster, that'd be Haley Smart that had that shot for Clinton Prairie. Wilson. Wilson wearing number 6. Thank you to the man that knows all about the Clinton Prairie program, and Sean Walker. That's an ace.
He really knows everything. Connie Garrett, he probably knew the lineup for Clinton Prairie with one state, which is huge. A small school winning no class. They were classes weren't in. They were the best in the state of Indiana.
1984 state champs. This service misses wide. While Milan kind of set the tone in 1954, there are a couple of small school, small town championships that stand out in the latter days of single class sports. Clinton Prairie winning in '84 in volleyball. Turkey Run, which is now closed, now that is consolidated with Rockville to form Park Heritage. They won the softball state championship the next to last year of single class sports in 1996.
Oh my gosh. I coached the team, Cathedral's team. We were in the Final Four, 96. Got to play at Market Square Arena. It was awesome.
Ball over. Diving effort by Wilson. Here's Swan. Good looking swing. Better dig by Saldana. 50-50 ball that is won by Prairie.
Again, a little bit better movement, a little bit better read by the Bro. Look, good platform. That's a great platform. A little tight, but playable. I just want to see some of the schools that aren't successful enjoy the game. Doesn't matter if you're elite or. It's really the reason you play high school sports is because the team play, the skill sets that you learn that make you successful later in life.
Hogan back to serve. She's had the short serve throughout the course of the match. Too short that time.
Okay, when I was coaching at Cathedral, 22. When we get to 20, the coach that calls the service better not call short serve because you're going to be replaced and you're going to be in the bleachers. If Cathedral gets to 20, it's all aggressive serves.
To the back row. Big swing. Set across, and block is there, but keeping the court of play gives Swan the kill. After tonight's match, Taylor is off until next week. They will take on Eastbrook at home. Back to conference play on a county rival when they host the Comets of Eastern a week from tonight. Service error by Prairie. Taylor within 10 here in what certainly appears to be our final set of the night.
Well, one thing, if you get a run of 3 points, your chances of winning are up to 60%. If you can get 2 4-point runs, 70%. So everything's possible. This game is so strange.
Big swing from the back.
Okay, that's not too strange. That was a good kill.
And Sydney Swan has been just as apt to put it away from the back row as she has been the front row tonight.
And in fact, she might be like a Kinsey Knuckles at Nebraska, who at one point was 2 or 3 in the country. Got beat by Stanford. But Kinsey Knuckles used to be an outstanding outside hitter, but she plays back row so she can attack back row for one of the top teams in the country at D1.
Big swing again, and this time the tape will send it wide. That tape has been so kind to the home team tonight. For one instance, it goes against them. Point goes to Taylor.
I think that Coach needs to practice, Coach Swan needs to practice using that a little bit more. But really, the tape, we practice hitting the tape, using the tape to our advantage.
Saldana swings away. And trying to go angled that time with Swan. Back-to-back points for Taylor. One more point will be their most they've had in a set tonight. And you're looking for signs of progress here if you're Taylor. Free ball. Couldn't get the put away. Second chance, the same. And into the net that time.
See a little bit more excitement from the Titans. Again, just tip it. Everyone's up close. They're all in the campfire. You need to hit where they're not. So deep corners on that shot. Overpass, go deep corners.
There's a good-looking swing. There was a touch there, yes. Point goes to Prairie. Serve for Prairie. Free ball here. And this one, just good job to steer that around the blocker. That is Beck with the kill.
Again, smart shot. One blocker up. Go to the sidelines.
One more time, thank you, Elijah Mash and Sean Walker, for your hard work tonight. Does not appear that this match is long for its existence. Prairie 4 points away, and a timeout called here by Taylor. And 25-9 and 25-5 are scores. Again, big picture for Prairie. Again, on their way to 9-6, on their way to 4-0 in conference play. Again, a coach that comes in at midseason, and Stacy Swan. What do these next couple of weeks look like for her team in terms of not necessarily how they play, but how they train and how they're preparing for the state tournament?
Well, she's a college player. So she's a college player. So here's one thing. If you've had a change, it needs to be, in my opinion, totally different what the other coach had. So if the other coach was like me, Mean Gene, when I was younger, then you become a nicer coach and go Grandma Gene. And so that way you're going to get the attention. Because if you go in with the same personality as the other one, you're going to lose some kids.
See, clearly I only know Grandma Gene, because I can't imagine you being mean to anybody. You've always been so nice to me.
Oh, I had to put if you go in a gym when I was practicing, I would be against the bleachers. And that's because Rick Strife told me, the football coach at Cathedral,
yes,
he would put himself in timeout sometimes so he doesn't. And so I learned from him. I mean, how many state champions he would put myself in timeout. That's a great serve. Oh, my gosh.
Multiple-time state champion, as in double-digit state champs for Rick, and now the director of athletics at Cathedral High School. Another ace here for Prairie. And they're 3 points away from closing this one out in 3. Ball's got to go over. It does. Wilson, good reaction, and that's Beck.
The ball just has to break the plane of the net. They can go swing, attack, or block. If the back row player, they can't go up and save it. Part of the ball is broken the net, the plane of the net.
Errant pass, and fourth touch, and 14 match points coming up here.
And the fans in the stands are standing up. You can see, no, you can't see that, but I'm sure they are, because in volleyball, it's set point, you stand up.
Couple of passing errors that time by Prairie.
They just want to play longer. I'm being serious.
Frankly, there has been a minimal amount of those for Prairie. Clearly, Taylor has given them some free points, but it has been rare that Prairie has given those free points back.
Absolutely.
Hence the lopsided nature of this one tonight.
And if you're playing an opponent where you're supposed to win, you try to reduce your errors, the controlled errors. That was a healthy swing. That may depend on the player. In my opinion, I may not count that because the kid may, be uncomfortable swinging for big points.
So back-to-back points for Taylor. Still 12 match points for Prairie. It's Morris that's back to serve. And Wilson finds the floor, and that's it, and that's all from Prairie tonight. 25-12. Again, decisive as expected. Coach, your final thoughts on this one?
Well, I like what I'm seeing from Clinton Prairie. I like that Coach Swan was able to get her entire roster in, so they have an experience of playing at home before things get a little bit intense. I think they're headed in the right direction, headed towards the last part of the season.
Big one coming up for Prairie on Tuesday night. We will have it for you here on ISC as they play host to, again, a multi-time state championship level squad in Central Catholic. They come to the field house. Make sure you join us then. First serve in the neighborhood of 7 o'clock. For Gene Kesterson, as well as Sean Walker and Elijah Mash behind the scenes, this is Greg Rakestraw. Thank you for watching high school volleyball right here on the ISC Sports Network.
Many communities in rural America are often overlooked as underserved. These communities are being left behind due to lack of internet and access to state-of-the-art technology. That's why Mulberry Telecommunications provides rural broadband services and technology and is growing their presence in north central Indiana. Because every community deserves infrastructure and beyond. To learn more, contact us today.
The ISC Sports Network is your home for sports content across the Hoosier State. Find us live on TV and streaming or archived on our website and our app. The ISC is your one-stop shop for the content you want to see, including high school sports, college sports, and other great events throughout the year. Subscribe to our streaming service and get access to it all. ISC, local lives here.
There is something for everyone to love at Mulberry Pizza King. We have fresh salads, hot sandwiches, frozen treats, and fountain drinks. And of course, pizza! Always made to order and cooked in our ovens until your pizza is fit for a king. So come see why we've been a Mulberry tradition since 1974. Dine in at 137 South Glick Street in Mulberry or call 765-296-2344 to place a carry-out order.
I brought you a present. A book.
Follow the adventures of the Ardente Dental team. Fight cavities, gum disease, and create beautiful health.
Inconceivable. Hello, my name is Dr. Snyder. You cause cavities. Prepare to die. Inconceivable. To make your smile look straight and fine, our braces per month are just $1.99. Inconceivable.
You keep using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means.
Have fun at Ardente Dental.
Many communities in rural America are often overlooked as underserved. These communities are being left behind due to lack of internet and access to state-of-the-art technology. That's why Mulberry Telecommunications provides rural broadband services and technology and is growing their presence in north central Indiana. Because every community deserves infrastructure and beyond. To learn more, contact us today.